Attorneys for the Justice Department were back in court Thursday for a hearing over whether the Trump administration violated a federal judge's order when it deported hundreds of alleged Venezuelan gang members to El Salvador last month using a wartime law. During the hearing, Judge James Boasberg said he will issue his decision on whether to officially proceed with contempt hearings against the government soon. Suggested he's likely to go forward with them. Judge Boasberg claims the administration deliberately violated his March 15th order, which required those planes carrying migrants to immediately return to the U.S. The administration says it wasn't in non-compliance because the judge gave a verbal order rather than a written one, among other reasons. For more, let's bring in CBS News Department of Justice reporter Jake Rosen, who was in court for the hearing. So, Jake, what happened and why did the judge say he felt he had enough to move forward with contempt proceedings?
Because, Lindsay, there was about a half an hour back and forth between a Department of Justice attorney and Judge Boasberg, in which he asked more of the same questions that you just laid out, trying to dig deeper into the government's arguments that they had the authority to not turn those planes around. The Department of Justice attorney named names. He named 4 people who he told about this judge's order, but he did not answer who in the White House, or at least the executive branch, made the executive decision to not turn those planes around. Judge Boasberg said he would get to the bottom of who that person was. And he also said that there's a, quote, fair likelihood that the administration, based on the evidence filed in court, documentation by people who were deported, and by the attorneys for the people who sued to block the deportation, that the government willfully and acted in, quote, bad faith in ignoring the judge's order.
So when are we expected to hear Boasberg's decision on contempt, and what would that kickstart?
Well, there's kind of 2 tracks here, right? Because there's a hearing next week on Tuesday in which the government will continue to argue why it's not giving Judge Boasberg the answer to operational details about those flights. An attorney from the Department of Justice said today that that information was not classified, but Judge Boasberg has no right to that information. That hearing will be Tuesday. Judge Boasberg said likely his decision will come some point after that in this decision about contempt of court. Again, really, this would kick off a whole nother complicated and kind of unprecedented situation, because the part of the government that institutes any kind of real contempt of court proceedings is the U.S. Marshals, which is controlled by the Attorney General and the Department of Justice. Obviously, the Department of Justice, including Pam Bondi and her senior officials that work with her, have signed on to almost all of the big filings in this case to either protect themselves and insulate the department, but also to make clear that this is coming from the highest levels and the White House.
Jake, also President Trump fired at least 6 senior staffers at the National Security Council Thursday. What can you tell us?
Well, this was made after Laura Loomer, who's a conspiracy theorist. She frames herself as a reporter, but she spread information online and had a research packet, allegedly, according to sources that talked to CBS News, calling out people who work for the National Security Council for being neoconservatives and opposed to President Trump's mission. After this meeting, shortly after the firing started to happen, according to our CBS News colleagues down here in D.C., they report that the Signal Gate opening with Mike Waltz and the backlash that he has faced opened the door to further digging deep into the actual staff at the National Security Council and who is working there. President Trump said he was proud to fire people and that he's always going to fire people if he believes that they've done something wrong. Laura Loomer, as we know, has made a number of Islamophobic and anti-Semitic statements in her time as a person who has Trump's ear. We know that even going back about 2 years ago, she actually was almost hired by the Trump campaign to be an advisor going to this 2024 run.
Yeah, today in a reporter gaggle, he downplayed her role, but did say he listens to recommendations from everybody. Jake Rosen, thank you.